All right, guys. Our next guest is man of the people and one of the realest dudes out there. Currently ranked at number 9 in the UFC's rankings. He is the Iron Sheik of MMA, Long Island's own Raging Al Iaquinta. Welcome back to Submission Radio. How's it going, man? I hear you laughing. You liked that intro, didn't you?
Great intro. The Iron Sheik of MMA. Amazing. I love it. I make them humble, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, we usually peak during the intro, and then the interview goes downhill from there on out. But let's quickly talk about your life, because there's some good news in your life, Al. It looks like there's word on the street that you're healthier than ever. Is that right?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling good. It's been a long time. So I've been working through the injuries. I got beat up a little bit, obviously, my last fight. Had a few injuries from that, but I'm feeling good now. And I'm just looking for something in like November. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. But just quickly, what were the injuries, and when was sort of the moment that you realized, hey, man, I'm better than I was in years? And if you're 100% now, what were you operating at the last few years?
Oh man, you'd have to talk to Longo.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean leading up to the last fight is when I really started feeling good, you know. And then, so I had that knee surgery, and that took forever to really kind of feel good.
Mm.
And then in the last fight, I hurt my shoulder, and they offered me the fight, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks after I fought Khabib, and I was like, it came out of nowhere. I was like, wow, they didn't even really ask me if I was okay or whatever, but it was a great opportunity. So they kind of put a little pressure on me. I took the fight, and then I took the fight really without training and seeing where I was at. I started training, and I was like, yeah, this is not working out right. Plus, I live on Long Island. It's the summer. There's a lot of. I'm not to go to Lincoln, Nebraska in August, a Long Island there. You got to really make it worth it. You know. I mean, it's got to be worth it. I've had a great summer. I do the real estate thing, and I've been doing great with that. So stuck with that. Honestly, probably made almost, as much money as I would have to show against, the guy. So I'm just having fun with it,
Mm. Because it's interesting. People don't quite know. 1 second, it looks like Dana White's new favorite fighter. Next second, he's not in love with you any longer. What's your relationship like with the UFC right now and Dana White after you sort of didn't want to take that fight? Is it back to where it was before?
Or you were forced to withdraw from that fight?
No. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta stop saying I keep saying. I said that like 20 times. Someone called me out on Twitter. Like, you keep saying that. It's like in public speaking, they call it a fill pause. I just got to be comfortable with there being no sound, and instead of not saying anything, I go,
Bit of a Barack Obama approach to speaking.
He's the best, right? What a great public speaker that guy is.
I think about him before I do my interviews sometimes, because I'm guilty of the same thing.
I haven't noticed it.
Well, I've been working hard. Before we interview you, I work extra hard. I look at myself in the mirror and I go, you can do this. Don't say you know, or if you know, or...
I was going to say, I think it's an Al Iaquinta-ism. Like, when you say you've got that Long Island accent, so it just sounds a lot cooler. So I don't think you should change. I think you should keep the you know?
Oh, now you're going to start doing it, huh?
Yep. It's already happening,
I don't know. We'll see. I think I got to get rid of it.
Let me ask you, Al. Well, we know that there's going to be an Al Iaquinta fight coming up soon. You mentioned New York. Tell me, who were you looking at potentially fighting? Because according to Ariel Helwani, Tony Ferguson is possibly next. Is that true? And do you want him?
Yeah, I think that's a great one. You know, I think he's gonna have to fight again because Dustin is fighting Nate Diaz in New York. So those guys, if Nate wins, he's probably, and if Nate and Conor both win, they're gonna fight again. That's 100%. If Khabib wins, he might fight GSP. He might fight Dustin. He might fight. He might fight Nate. So I mean, for Ferguson, he's got to get back in there. You know what I mean? He's got to fight again.
So is that the only thing that you like about it? The fact that he's just the guy that's available, or is there something else? What do you like about the matchup and him, I guess?
Well, I think he's just kind of like a weird guy. I don't know. I don't see doing something right because he's 10-0 in his last 10 fights or something. But he's chinny. Definitely gets dropped every fight. I think guys haven't been able to finish him, and I think I definitely can if I hurt him, which I think I would. I'd be able to put him away. But I think it's just a good fight. I think it's a good fight, and I just really don't like him. He's kind of like annoying. Pretty much that's it. I think I just don't like him. I don't like. It's a good fight. I think it's a fight I could win. You know, I think it's just a great fight for me, and I think he's dangerous with like chokes and stuff, but I think Barbosa was beating him up, Donato was beating him up, and then he's kind of just so he's so out of his mind that he thinks he's good, so he's actually ends up being good. I don't know if it makes sense. Like, he really believes that he's that good, but he's really not. Well, he's so crazy that it like works in his. He's got like the cuckoo. He's like he's got a cuckoo gene in him, and the cuckoo gene can beat a lot of people, but I don't think it's beating me. You know.
Because you mentioned the but he likes to. He has a tweeting style that some people could find a little bit annoying from time to time, and he quickly responded. Sorry.
Basically, no one likes him. Basically, you know. I don't think there's a lot. I said it again.
You've said it a few times, and I never wanted to say anything. I'm just sitting here enjoying it, man.
No, you gotta call me out on it. You gotta call me out, and I gotta stop this. This is gonna end today.
This is not the show for it. You were saying though, Tony Ferguson's tweeting. You were saying something.
Yeah, no one likes him. He's just a weird guy. So
I was gonna say, speaking of tweets, he quickly responded to the original tweet and said, "Trying too hard, kid. Dash like Motown Phenom. You both had your chance and fucked it up. You sell houses, I build and buy them. Take notes." What did you make of his response?
He's the one that fucked up his chance. I'm not the one. I didn't mess up anything. I didn't fuck up anything. I went for it on a day's notice. Honestly, if he got it on a day's notice, if he fought me on a day's notice, I'd whoop his ass. I'd finish him. I'd whoop his ass way worse than I got my ass whooped. So, you know, I there we go again. but yeah, no, on a day's notice, he's not doing shit. He blew his shot. I stole his shot, and I'm gonna keep stealing his shots. He's got nothing. He's done. He's like 10th on the list right now. GSP, that was his shot. He blew it. Big time.
How likely do you think it is that this fight comes together? Because I think you versus Tony, I mean, that'd be a really fun fight. But given it doesn't seem like he's too interested, how likely do you think that it is that it happens?
Well, I don't know. He's gonna have to. He's not fighting. I don't think he's fighting for the title next. No one wants to see. No one really wants to see it anymore. So, I don't know if it's going to be me, but it's going to be somebody else. I don't know who it's going to be, but I don't think he's going to end up fighting for the title. It's very, very slim slim chances. The only way he fights for the title on his next fight is if Khabib wins. But still, they promoted that fight like 10 times already. I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. The only way, only if, and I want Khabib to win. It makes me look great. It's, he goes out there and wins, which I think he has a great chance of doing. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But I think he's going to end up fighting somebody. Who it is, I don't know. But it's not going to be. I don't think he's going to fight for the belt next. I think it'll be Poirier, Diaz, GSP, somebody.
I think you're definitely onto something. Have you spoken to the UFC at all? Have you had any contact with them about this fight or any fight in particular as far as your next fight goes?
A bit. I don't know. They were talking about putting me on the New York card, but it didn't seem. I don't know. It doesn't seem. I'm not like pushing them too hard. It doesn't seem like they're too eager. So I'm just kind of like enjoying life right now.
Wow. What was the discussion like? Was there an opponent, anyone particular that they wanted you to face?
There was talks of Pettis, Kevin Lee. The Hooker.
Ah, Dan Hooker. He'd love to fight you. Any of
I know
those
he
guys
would.
kind of.
Honestly, that would be a good. Maybe there's one in Australia. When is that?
That's
Adelaide.
in December,
There's
man.
Adelaide.
Yeah, early December.
I'm always down to come. We'll come. Let's go. Maybe. We'll see. Man, it's not a bad idea, but I don't know. That's like kind of like a. I'd rather obviously fight Pettis or Kevin Lee over him. But if it ends up being him in Adelaide, I've never been to Adelaide. That'd be pretty dope, right?
Adelaide's nice, city of church, dude. We would love you down here. I mean, sometimes these cards, these Aussie cards, they're a little bit low on the international star power. You versus Dan Hooker, that's a main event. That's a co-main event. That's up there. We'd love it. But I guess from your perspective, you being a Long Island guy, I feel like New York would be where you would want to fight. How come that didn't come together? I feel like that'd be like you kind of missed out on that in the past. It's almost the dream.
You said I missed out on it?
Yeah, like in the past it didn't happen. So now
I didn't miss the UFC missed out on it big time.
Right.
Sean Shelby's missing out on it big time. So that's not, it's not, listen, that's their thing. They could put all the big names on the card. Thank God they got Weidman on. I mean, they're really just, I don't know.
And he's fighting Rockhold on this card, so you and Weidman, that'd be great as well. How come that didn't sort of come together?
Right?
Yeah.
You'd have to ask them. They put Hooker and Jesus. Now I got him stuck in my head. Who is it? Oh, Romero and who's the other guy? Costa.
Well, apparently that's
Romero's
not happening.
So I texted Sean Shelby today, and I said, "Oh, it looks like an opening on New York card. 30 minutes away from my house in my home state." And he didn't respond, so it doesn't. It probably looks like they're gonna find a replacement for Costa. They'll have a Brazilian fight. I don't know, in New York. I don't know. I feel like they don't even know really what's going on.
We saw that Kevin Lee was sort of looking to fight you at UFC 229, and you said that you couldn't do it any earlier than November. Was he a guy that you'd possibly like to fight in New York if things worked out perfectly?
Absolutely, New York. It's perfect. October is soon. Listen, the guy's he's got nothing going on except fighting. I got a lot of things going on. I'm enjoying things. If he wants to fight in November, it's like, what is he going to do? He's going to make weight in October? First off, he's a 170 pounder. Second, he's not fighting anybody in October. He's got no opponent. So let's just set a date in November. Let's set a date in November and make it happen. You know? He's saying,
do you think?
I'm the A side. Listen, dude, you're not the A side. I beat you last. I'm the A side. I don't care. Rankings don't mean anything. Nothing. I'm your daddy. Like, get out of here. With the freaking with the A side, B side. I'm the A side. Get out of here. Kevin Lee. Guy's freaking, what are you, nuts? The Motown Phenom. Guy lives in Vegas. Hell, you can't change your name. You can't be the Motown Phenom living in Vegas. Guy's out of here.
If you had to sort of choose which opponent excites you more, is it the fight with Lee or is it Tony Ferguson? And at this point where they are as fighters, who do you think is the tougher fight for you?
I feel like I beat the crap out of both of them, but Kevin Lee's probably a tougher fight. I think he's come a long way. He's probably a tougher fight.
You feel like the Tony Ferguson fight would be quick?
What's that?
You feel like the Tony Ferguson fight would be a quick one?
That's what I've been shooting for, but I mean, he's durable. He's crazy. He's out of his mind. Definitely out of his mind. So, you know, you got to kill that guy to put him away. So I mean, I don't think any fight I would bank on it being a quick one. If it was, it'd be great. But those guys are all tough, you know.
I think that's why these would all be very exciting fights. So I guess, you know, if we're sort of saying percentage-wise, how likely do you think it is that you end up on this New York card? I know Sean Shelby hasn't texted you yet, but it's kind of, well, I mean, it's somewhat late in the day, but maybe a text tomorrow. What are the chances that you fight on that card?
I'm saying they're not great. I'm saying they're not great. Doesn't seem like he's too. I what are you thinking? It shows a lot, you know. It says everything. So when I fight, I fight. If not, I'm not worried about it. Maybe we'll fight next year. Who knows? Maybe we'll just go to Adelaide and hang out. We'll go hang out. Where are you guys, in Sydney?
Well, we're in Melbourne. We'll come to Adelaide and hang out with you, Al. We've got a lot of fun things to show you. Quickly, before we let you go, though, a lightweight fight happening in the main event this coming weekend. James Vick, Justin Gaethje. Who do you think wins that fight? And are you going to watch it? Are you going to keep an eye on any of these guys, or do you feel like they haven't really reached our level?
No, absolutely. I'll keep an eye on it. Gaethje's tough. It's going to be Vic. I think Vic doesn't like to get in brawls. He doesn't like to really. He's kind of like, I think he's got a good style. He's not going to engage in that kind of fight. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I don't know. If I had to put money on somebody, I think Gaethje's the underdog. I would put money on him just because I think it's a pretty even matchup. It could go either way. So I would put money on him because he's the underdog. But yeah, I couldn't call it, to be honest with you. I couldn't call it. I hope Vic wins because I like the guy. He was on Ultimate Fighter with me, so we got some history. He's a good friend. I see him at a lot of the fights. You know, Gaethje, I don't know. He's all right, but I think my you know, I think it's an even fight. I hope Vic pulls it off. I hope he pulls it out.
Yeah, and Vic was actually on the show the other week, and he had a lot of nice things to say about you. He said, I wish nothing but the best for Al and Kevin Lee, and I hope they have a fight, and I hope they have a great fight. So, as do we, man, whether it's Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, even Dan Hooker in Adelaide, we can't wait to see who you get matched up with, man. We hope it all works out. We hope that whoever you get the best deal possible, and it's been so much fun chatting with you, man. We said at the top of the interview, one of the realest dudes out there. And with the you-knows or without the you-knows, which I think you curbed towards the end, We love it, man. We could talk to you for hours and hours. Don't forget to follow Al on
I'm
Twitter,
good.
Instagram, at Al Iaquinta. Check out HomeKnockout.com. Buy a house. Buy a couple of houses, buy a mansion. Just buy something from Al Iaquinta. The guy's phenomenal at his job. And look, we'll be seeing you in Adelaide. It's pretty much an official date, Al. We'll be hanging out. But hopefully we'll see you fighting there as well, or at least New York, man. We're pulling for you, and we hope that happens for you.
I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I love. So I hope to see you guys down there.